The Furious. The story is a downtrodden father and combat-ready reporter take on a child kidnapping ring. Worth watching? Fuck yeah. One good thing? The Feintest idea. The Furious starts with a brief prologue that shows a lady reporter attempting to save a child from a ring of child kidnappers. The rescue mission goes awry when the big bads show up and prove to be too deadly for the plucky taekwondo efficient reporter. Then we seamlessly transition to an unnamed father who brings his semi-estranged but loving daughter to work while she hangs out with him on her summer vacation. But during an innocent disagreement over a haircut, the child storms off into the streets and is almost immediately tricked and taken by a small trio of baddies. The father chases down the truck they're in and stops them just enough to get a super solid 3v1 action set piece in, but ultimately is unable to stop them from kidnapping his 9-year-old. Without wasting any runtime, the father is able to track down the scumbags to a nightclub hotspot of MMA action. Unlike the guy reporter trying to avenge the lady reporter's disappearance, the father has a more immediate concern for the safety and well-being of his little girl, so the moment, and I mean the moment, he sees the distinctly afro-haired man he just scrapped with earlier, he goes into fight mode. This father is not concerned about how many bad guys there are, he is confident in his capabilities to take out thugs, and that is just what he does. As he begins dispatching a bunch of nameless, faceless pieces of human garbage, he manages to seclude the Afro Man away, and in a relentless onslaught of attacks, there is a moment where the father brings up his leg for a clear head kick. The Afro guy blocks high, preparing for the blunt force of a hard-hitting attack. But then the father simply pauses, mid-attack, for like a full solid 1 second. And 1 second is a long-ass time in the middle of a brutal, chaotic set piece like this. Then lands a rib-breaking kick to the bad guy's torso, which remains wide open while he is braced for the higher strike. While this movie continues down the evolutionary path defined by movies like John Wick and The Raid, there is a lot of love for old school martial arts within this action-heavy genre that really delights hardcore fans. So many moments in the movie are defined by characters positioning themselves or others during the brawls, including moments where after attacks they will assume a form or stance only to then break it inconsequentially with little to no follow-up after. But for kung fu lovers like myself, seeing the characters' thought process as they take on scores of enemies by watching how and what they do is truly a ton of fun. Since these movies are highly choreographed, I really appreciate that they put in moments that highlight the characters' decision making by showing us what stances they choose to form and when. The way Ouchies uses his body to communicate his brutal efficiency, especially in the way he baits the Afro guy into a head block rib-breaking kick, had to get the loudest "ooh" turn giggle from me. The feint attack is always a crowd pleaser, and let me tell you, I certainly was pleased by this one in particular. 5 star!